So Stephen Miller, the Dracula, the vampire, the zombie, the crypt keeper, the ghoul, the undead walking man. You know what I'm saying? The dude who was yelling and screaming about the Venezuelans. He's always yelling and screaming about immigrants. You know the guy. But he's calling for reparations for Americans impacted by immigration. So I guess that would include, I mean, that's a lot of people. People impacted by immigration, that's literally hundreds of millions of people, which would cost a lot of money, which on its face, of course, they are not going to do this. So this isn't a serious story as in, oh, the Trump administration is actually considering reparations. But no, this is just some BS rhetoric. Nonetheless, I figure we might as well go through it because, again, when it comes to reparations for Black people, that's that's not going to happen. I mean, I have no faith that that's going to happen. And so this absolutely won't either. But let's see what he has to say. So he was on Newsmax on Friday. They was talking about Trump administration's immigration policies and all that good stuff. And then he was asked if they should receive reparations for damages, like stuff like uh, violence and drug trafficking, other violent crimes, things along those lines. And then my man, Stephen Miller, he said, we had an entire generation of Americans, multiple generations, in fact, have been robbed of educational opportunities. Entire cities, look at Los Angeles, once a paradise of safety, security, and prosperity, entire neighborhoods occupied and controlled by foreign gangs, said Miller, who was the architect of President Trump's controversial family separation and travel ban policies. I mean, again, yeah, at one point, well, I mean, look, listen, at one point, California was Mexico. So there have always been Latinos there. At one point, that literally was Mexico. So, I mean, not only are these people racist, they're idiots. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, there's just a bunch of undocumented immigrants in LA. LA used to be this great place, and now it's just absolutely horrible. Nobody wants to be in LA. Yeah, no, a lot of people want to be in LA because LA is pretty awesome. It has its issues indeed. It's very expensive. There's a lot of poverty there. There's a lot of homelessness there. There's all types of issues, but every place has its pros and cons. And these people, these can well, Stephen Miller, he's in, all over the place and in Washington because of the job right now. But these conservative commentators, oftentimes what you see them do, they'll talk about how all these liberal cities are so disgusting and so trash and there's just so much rampant crime, but they can't help but to live in NYC or Los Angeles. That's where all of them are. I wonder why. It's probably because there's more opportunities and more money, more stability in those places, more diversity, stuff like that. Where do all the residents who have been displaced, who have been forced out of Los Angeles, where do they go to get their reparations? And then Miller answered, he says, what about the victims of fentanyl poisoning brought in by Democrats' open border, hundreds of thousands of moms and dads whose kids are dead and buried in the ground? Where do they go to get their reparations from the government? And then all the women who have been raped, who've been beaten, who've been murdered, all the dads who've been shot dead in their homes, all the police officers who've been slain by illegal aliens in ambush attacks in the line of duty. Okay, so we just gonna, we just gonna give everybody reparation money for that. I guess that's what they're gonna do. Coming from a party who doesn't want Social Security to exist, they're gonna give us reparations for this type of stuff. Of course, we know that won't happen. He added, where does our whole country go to get repaid for all the wealth, all the prosperity and security that has been stolen from us by decades of uncontrolled illegal mass immigration? Because we all deserve reparations for what has been stolen from us. Okay, yeah. But again, of course, that this is not it's not gonna happen. It's not serious. They're never gonna do anything along those lines. It's just empty rhetoric. But nonetheless, it is a little entertaining, a little fun, just to tune in to what these people are really up to. Hey now. Thank you so much for tuning in here at Politics and Paper. If you like what I do and you support my work, go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it and really helps to support what we do here.